That's what Debo does. He uses the free version, and he's got 100,000 subscribers. So,
Right. I'm all about free stuff.
and he pulls 300-400, and they don't seem to care about that StreamYard logo on the upper right side. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really don't care either. All right, what's up, guys? Sorry, me and Hellabass were just chatting about the streaming software. So tonight, got my buddy Rich, aka Hellabass. He's took a little break on his channel, but I roped him in to come and streaming with me tonight, and didn't really have a topic. So we're going to talk about the fall fishing basics. So what you need, what you don't need, what's good, what's not good, and we're going to get Rich's opinions because he fishes different water than me, so that's really good, and mine, and we'll take questions. So lots of people up in the chat tonight. So hey Darius, good to see you again, buddy. Billy Knowles, Billy, been a while. Frank Hazley, what is up, Hammer? So get your fish on. Really like his channel. You ever watch Get Your Fish On?
that one's new to me. I might have to
Yeah,
check it
he's.
out.
I like his stuff because he seems pretty unbiased. He does a lot of different bait reviews that most people aren't doing. Got some really good B-roll in there.
Hmm.
So, I judge
Nice.
channels more than just always content. I like the camera work and people take the time to actually take the video of the baits and stuff like that. So
Yeah. What's I see Sean Lai, I see Dax, I see Simon, Matthew, all kinds
yeah,
of the lot of people that were here last night are here tonight. So what's
what's
up,
up,
guys?
Levi Widget? Long time no see, buddy. Levi's a great guy. He's a great fisherman down there in Florida. Also, premium bait hoarder. Hate to call you out, Levi, but if you're ever in a shortage of baits, that's a guy I go to. Levi's got them. So, what's up?
I feel like I'm a recovering premium bait hoarder. I'm on the road to recovery. I still got a lot, but I'm trying to get better.
Right. What's up, Ron? What's up, Cole? Kennedy, Mr. Bayou Burner. He caught him a nice little jank on a 6-inch swim jig. I saw that.
Nice.
So, anyway, I want to thank Bo Stevens for coming on last night. I think Bo did an excellent job. Um, he has more energy than anybody I know.
Yeah, maybe not epic Eric energy, but he's up there.
Right. And I could tell he's just a little nervous. He was out, just pre-gaming. He's like, I just don't want to embarrass myself. You'll be fine. Uh, less
I
less
mean,
vol talk. Every time I talk vols, I embarrass myself.
I was just gonna say, if you're a Vols fan, you can't be too worried about embarrassing yourself, right?
Right. So, uh,
That coming from a Gopher fan, so that's just a cheap shot. So
yeah. I mean, I really can't argue with that. Uh, Golly, a lot of good people in here I haven't seen in a while. Chuck Capel, what's up, man? So I did post on Facebook I'd be streaming tonight, and I did it on Instagram. Brad Cum, what's up, man? Yes, go Vols. I am ready for basketball season. We are 2 games in, and I'm already ready for the hardwood. Um, Dave Tooley, what's up, bud? So here, let's just answer a few questions before we get into it. Heck, we may not even get into fall baits, and I may have to retitle this whole thing Hellabass. But Frank wants to know what rod and line set up for 5-inch glides. 5-inch glides,
well,
man, you don't really have to have anything crazy. Uh,
jig rod.
yeah, it is treble hook bait, so I'm kind of going to go with if I threw a 10XD, basically a stiff cranking rod. You don't
Yeah,
want a 7-foot medium heavy, but
it depends on it depends on the medium heavy, right? Like so maybe like the Dobbin 734 medium heavy, which is a pretty moderate action, probably would be a good like 5-inch glide bait
right,
rod. But it really depends on the manufacturer and the style of jig rod. You don't want like a pool cue medium heavy fast action. But if you got like a slower
mm-hmm.
action jig rod, it would probably work as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of companies that make a jig rod like that. Something that's actually a little bit, I guess, really the word I'm looking for is more parabolic. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to, you want it to load in the middle of the rod. Um, um, and then same thing with like 5-inch bull shads or like the 6-inch trace. They're just not that heavy, so you don't have to have a $200 setup. But if I was going to buy a rod that I could throw 5-inch, 6-inch glides, 5 to 6 inch bull shads, just stuff like that. Man, the Dobbins Fury is really, really hard to beat.
That that
Yeah,
795.
795 Fury. It's really hard to beat. And I mean, I got that Milliken swim bait rod, but I'll be honest with you, it's just a little too much for smaller, jointed baits. Like I got this. This is a good fall bait. I just got it in a few weeks ago. I think I showed you guys. Like this is a OG swim bait. This is, if you guys know, this is a triple trout, and this is I believe a 6-inch triple trout. It's really not that big of a bait. I mean, I can put a 6-inch or a 10XD or a big crankbait next to it, and the big crankbait's bigger than this bait. So, you can throw this on your big crankbait rod, and triple trout's a really good bait in the fall. And I'll start the fall fishing off like this. You have to cover water. There's times when you get those bright bluebird sunny days that you do have to slow down and pick apart cover. But until then, it's all about movement for me. You've got to fish the flats. You've got to use stuff that goes fast and cover water, because the fish are moving. The bait's moving, the fish are moving. And if you're sitting still, you're missing the fish.
Yeah, and to me, in the fall, the fish start to eat again. They get more aggressive, right? Like, you shouldn't start out with a drop shot or a shaky head or a Ned. You should be spinnerbait, lipless, swim jig, chatterbait, swim bait, whatever. Get a bite, right? Find bait, get a bite, and then if you get a couple bites, then you can mop up, with some of that other stuff. I mean, there is still a time when you can slow down and get some extra fish on some of that slow stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you like bottom stuff, throw a biffle head, throw a Tokyo rig and drag it on the bottom, or a big Carolina rig and like really cover water with it until you get a bite. Because most of the time, there's a few active fish around, and they're going to show themselves and give themselves away. So yeah, absolutely cover water. No matter what your favorite technique is, bump up the size, bump up the speed, and cover water to you get bit, and then slow down.
Yeah, so that's perfect. We may have some internet issues. I don't know what's going on. Everything went smooth last night. So
yeah, low life fishing says the river smallie bite is on in my area too. Like the wing dams and sand drops for smallies will really start.
What in the world? Trying to figure out why our audio keeps dropping. Let me go back and make sure I ain't got like 6 TVs streaming Netflix. So, guys, be patient with me. Hellabass is a good sub, I promise.
I'm gonna keep talking. I don't know what's going on. Shad. For that, I did survive a team party at a parent's house, so we had like that awkward thing where we all hung around. John's had no luck with the lipless. Spectrum sucks.
We'll see if that makes it better. I had a kid on a cell phone playing video games, and I had one kid, 2 other TVs going on. Spectrum sucks, I guess. Or I can reconnect to Hellabass if he ever wants to beat back in. I'm going to probably end up doing like Debo does. I'm probably going to do the whole StreamYard thing. That way all the internet stuff's on them. It's not using me up. We've gone silent. Yes, Sycamore, I enjoy streaming with Rich. He's a great fishing mind. He's just a better fisherman than me. So. Dang. What's up, Fishing with Gramps? We're trying to get some internet issues. I would. Here's the problem: if I end the stream and then reconnect, it just kills the YouTube algorithm, all that stuff. Yeah, Billy. To be honest, it doesn't matter if you're 5 minutes down the road or 8 hours down the road. If there's an internet issue, it's not.
Do you want to?
But we can. You want to reconnect in Skype in just a second? Yeah, I lost Hellabass. I've lost Hellabass. All right, Rich is gonna call me back in Skype in just a minute, and yes, Skype. I'm gonna rate that call a 1. To be honest with you, but I'll get Rich back here in just a second. I'll answer some questions in here. Yeah, Gramps, I've thought about doing StreamYard as long as I can do the overlays and stuff like that. I use Streamlabs OBS, and that allows me to, put the viewer count and the alert boxes and stuff like that in there. I really like that. But I've noticed that StreamYard has a lot of those same options. So, anyway. What's up, Clayton? I don't know if anybody else got any draws, but I did see a few people already got theirs in, especially those that live really close to 6 cents. I don't know where mine's at. I actually had it up here. I don't know where I put that sucker. I misplaced so much stuff here. It's unreal. If you guys haven't seen it, I'd show it to you, and for some reason I can't find that sucker. That's nice to lose a $90 bait. Oh, here it is. It's behind my laptop. So, Brad, I saw your comment earlier. I have thrown this around off the bank. There's the 6 cents draw, if you guys didn't see it last night with Bo Stevens. If y'all get a chance, I want you to go back and listen to the stream or watch the stream with me and Bo Stevens. He's a great guy. And I believe I'll have Bo on some more. He's just a huge fan of fishing, and we just talked about random stuff everywhere. And hopefully it didn't make some people mad. Yeah, Billy, I do know I got, for cell service, I got just straight talk because it actually does really well, but the last week or so it's been off and on. So, got 70 people in here, so thank you guys for joining me tonight. Everybody says, man, we want to stream, want some more content, so we're going to try to stream 3 nights in a row. I will stream again tomorrow night. I plan on having Debo's Fishing join me. I think he's going to join Alex Rudd. And then, he's going to have Mr. Bass on his channel. And then I'm going to stream about the same time. And I kind of push it back because I know everybody likes to watch college football. And, of course, my team sucks, so we play at noon. But we're going to stream tomorrow night, too. And I've got the Wheel of Misfortune, or Wheel of Awesome Tackle, whatever I called it. I got that order in from Tackle Warehouse. So I've kind of pilfered through it. Some stuff I really like. There's a few things that order I'm not so sure about. So I figured might as well have the king of unboxings, Debo, with me to help break that stuff down. That's right, Bo. It's not a show until Sean Law and Hellabass show up. Or I have internet issues. So I'm just waiting Rich to text me back. Kill a little time. So. That's good to know, Gramps. Good to know. And Gramps, keep up the content. Like the channel. Definitely a very positive YouTube channel. And I like that. So, Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna call Hellabass right now. Get him back on here. Yes, I am going to toss that Speedwake Hunter Nixon. Get those slick days. Alright. Alright, I can hear you. Let's see if I can pull you in the stream here. We'll see if they listen, because mine don't. Tell them to go get their switch. Get that Browning Salaflex from Grandpa's house. You ain't never been spanked until you you got spanked with a Browning Salaflex.
I'll take your word for it. I don't think that's ever going to happen for me.
I'm getting no video from you, Rich. It's all audio.
Did I? Oh, I forgot to turn my.
Yeah, that helps. That helps. All right, we'll get you in here. It also wouldn't be a bait show either if we didn't have some kind of technical issue. I told Hellabass I don't know how it fired off last night. Like, perfect. Yeah, I'm just waiting for my hard drive to go down. I got to back up. I learned my lesson last year filming stuff with Menendez. I had it all on one hard drive, and we're about 7 episodes in, and that sucker choked on me. I got really lucky, and this is kind of a cool story. So I had sent a hard drive of edited stuff off to Tackle Warehouse for the vlogs for Menendez, and long story short, when I lost that hard drive, I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. I mean, we're too far in. Mark had already didn't have a boat. Because, the pros sell their boats and all that. His was on order. Boats were hard to get. And I called Daniel from Tackle Warehouse, which he's been on Ike Live show. Daniel and Corey, great guys, dude. They're super talented. And said, yo, man, do you still have that drive? And he said, well, man, actually, I do. I can overnight it to y'all. I'm like, man, I need it bad. And I told him what happened. And I said, well, does it have X, Y, Z episodes on there? And he goes, let me check. And he goes, yeah, it does. And it saved my butt. And so they sent it to me and whatnot. So let us know if you need anything. And got to talking to Corey. And that's kind of how the TW affiliate program started with me. I helped them out because they couldn't travel because of COVID to do vlogs with people. But here I was sitting on all this stuff. And so they had it and basically sort of chopped what I had up, put all their lower thirds and audio in there, and changed it where it wasn't just like the TV show. Helped them out, and they helped me out. And man, they're good people to deal with. I'd love to have Corey and Daniel on here talk about the media aspect of fishing and going about filming and the time involved. And they do it big, man. Their stuff's amazing. Of course, they have a little bit bigger budget than Baitman as far as the cameras and stuff. But here's a question for you, Hellabass. This is a good one. Have you ever gone totally old school in a tournament and had success?
I guess what is the definition of old school? Like, I mean, I've had plenty of good tournaments where I've literally only had 2 jigs, like a 3/8 and a half-ounce jig on my deck, and fished them all day and barely threw anything besides a jig and caught like 22 pounds. Is that?
No, he said old school, not boring.
Okay, well, here's a little bit old school. It's been a little while, maybe 8-10 years. I fished a state tournament on Leech Lake up in Minnesota. Back to the jig again, but I knew I was going to fish that jig a ton, and in and out of like wild rice. So I fished my jigs with pork rinds in that tournament, even though it was like early September and the water was still kind of warm. I did it for the efficiency of knowing I was going to keep that jig wet all day, and I did not want to fix plastic trailers and chunks all day, so I could put one piece of pork on that jig and fish it all day, which means I was going to make more presentations in the rice, which means I was going to catch more fish.
There you go. That's an interesting deal. Speaking of jig fishing, let's talk about jig fishing for the fall. I already had some on Instagram say you can talk about jig fishing. I can't do 2 hours of jig fishing, but what we can talk about is jig fishing for the fall. What's your go-to? What's your go-to, and when are you throwing a jig in the fall? Is it strictly a swim jig deal? For me, unless I go offshore for some reason, maybe there's no current, it's a super bright blue day, it's got kind of warm, I'm going to swim a jig every now and then. I'm pitching shallow cover. Then I'll go with like a finesse style jig.
Yeah, up here in our natural lakes, where we basically don't have shad except for in the Mississippi River. So our lakes up here are really bluegill, perch, shiner dominated. So when our water temps, usually about coming up here another week or two, right around October 1st, when the water temps dip below 60 into the high 50s, all the way down to the mid 40s, there's a big bunch of fish that push shallow and they get on hard cover,
Right.
whether that's docks, laydowns, pad stems, cattails, flat reeds. And my jig is number one. Like I'm just like a flipping jig, like 3/8 ounce, half ounce
Show us the juice.
flipping
Take
jig.
care of them sponsors, bud.
Yeah. So I mean I mainly throw like a half ounce or 3/8 ounce Bass Tech tungsten jig. That's my go-to. And typically I'll have like a this one's chewed up, but I'll have a 3/8 ounce
Oh,
typically
show the
with like
chewed
a
up one. That's the one we want to
yeah
see.
3/8 ounce one, a little bit downsized with like a menace scrub or a speed craw on it. I don't know if I got one rigged up, but then I'll usually have like a half ounce rigged up with something a little bigger, like a
All right, Hellabass. I'm gonna put the notes in here so I can link this jig in the description.
yeah, they are at Tackle Warehouse. But this one's got a rage bug on it. A lot of times I'll throw like a rage bug or like a spicy beaver. So I'll typically have like a 3/8 ounce jig with something small like a menace scrub
Right.
or a speed craw, and then I'll have a half ounce jig with like a spicy beaver. And I'll usually start with the big one because like it's all about efficiency and moving water. And if I can get bit on the big one, I'll just roll with that all day. But if it feels like it's a little bit off, I'll drop to that 3/8 ounce one. And I'm flipping docks, trees, whatever. And then when I'm going between them, I'll be swimming that jig along any little clump, any little stick, any little anything that's not worth maybe flipping. But I'm gonna swim my jig by it. And from basically October 1st to November 1st, like for me, that's how I like have my.
I'm gonna try to pull something up here. I've never done this before. Uh-oh. Rich is cutting in and out again. Whoa. Whoa. We got craziness going on. Whoa.
Green pumpkin, and then I just
Rich, I hate to tell you this, but I didn't hear a darn word you just said. I'm trying to pull the map of Kentucky Lake out, and I'm going to show y'all a typical fall spot. I just fished yesterday, and I don't mind giving y'all the juice. Because there's some things I'll talk about that I want to show you guys. Uh-oh. Rich is gone. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Rich is gone. Alright. Well, I don't know what happened, so Rich is going to try to reboot his router and come back. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys something really quick on a map. I'm going to show you an area I was fishing, or I fish traditionally in the fall and why it's good. Okay, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Give me just a second. Just a second, guys. Because I decided to do this on the fly instead of like. Now I'm just gonna be. Whoops. I'm just gonna be using the basic Navionics map for this. I think I've ran off all the viewers. And by the way, YouTube is no longer sending out notifications on this channel. I don't know why. You don't get a notification if I stream. You don't get a notification if I upload a video. So I'm very interested to why YouTube has basically shadow banned me. I don't talk about anything very controversial or anything on here, so kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Let's see here. All right, this is what I was talking. All right, so I got Navionics pulled up right here. I'm gonna lock this. So this is a little area on Kentucky Lake that I do really well in the fall. So you'll be able to see my mouse cursor on this, I'm sure. So what we got here, if we zoom out just a little bit, this is Kentucky Lake. This is the main river channel. This is a secondary channel here where it's like 40, 55 foot. And it runs up to the lock of Kentucky Dam. So you get a lot of barge traffic through here on this secondary channel. Now, here's a place that I fish a lot in the fall because these fish that live on the secondary channel, they use this area right here in the summer quite a bit. So you've got a submerged roadbed that runs parallel here to the bank. Frank, if you're watching, you know what I'm talking about. This is the Sailboat Marina Harbor. You've got a hump out here. You got a hump out here. So they do this map at Summer Pool, by the way. So take 5 feet off that, and that's what you typically have in the fall. But you have a lot of deep water. You got these tight contour lines. So you got vertical structure here. The bass can move up and down. And then you got this little marina flat. All right. I think Hellabass is about ready. But anyway, so this is just a good area for me to fish. This little shallow flat comes off with a little point right here, and you got a little hump out here. This is an area I really like, a traditional area in the fall where I've got deep water access, but I've got a big, large flat that these fish can come up and use to feed. And, you know, I'll cover this area first thing in the morning with a topwater or a lipless, or burn a spinnerbait. Maybe even throw a swim bait like a Bass Tricks or a Baby Boom Boom, something like that, to cover the water. As the day gets up, I'll move over to more of this, or if I have high skies, I might move over to this large point here. This actually has an Indian furnace. There used to be a house foundation here, and there's what they call a furnace sitting right here. It's not on this map. It's just a big piece of structure, but you still see how this flattens out right here. It's close to deep water. A lot of times those smallmouth will run this deep water but come up real quickly on this flat old road bed, and they'll feed. This is just a traditional fall area where you can cover this whole flat and you can fish it really quick, and that's the stuff I look for, whether I'm on the TVA or anywhere like that. See if that helps anybody. You got a notification tonight. That's good. I'd love to get our A-Train from Tackle Warehouse, dude. I love that stuff. So Frank, we caught a giant smallmouth on that flat yesterday, burning a spinnerbait. It was crazy. And that whole area right there, Frank, several years ago, that was just a juice area. Like, those fish spawn in that marina too. So you've got a lot of fish that are what I call resident fish that may never leave that marina, and it doesn't get the pressure that some of the other marinas is. That's what we call the sailboat harbor. So, all right, I'm gonna see if I can get Hellabass back on here. I might pull out the map again tonight because there's still more stuff I'd like to show you guys. But I'm going to tell you, road beds are really good in the fall, especially shallow road beds. They offer a lot of structure, sometimes cover. It's an avenue for bass to travel back and forth from deep to shallow water, all that stuff. All right, Rich, we're going to try you again here. Bud, tell me about it. It's an every night deal for me, it seems. I actually pulled out that Avionics app too. I gave out some pretty good stuff too, but you know, I'm not worried about anybody going back and fishing it. If they do, I hope they catch a freaking personal best. That way, people are like, well, you gave me the juice, it paid off. I kind of also think the days of not helping everybody out are over because you can find
moderator mode, and
it's fine. All right, so anyway, swim jig. When do you pull out the swim jig? Dude, I don't know what's going on. Oh my goodness. Well, I can tell you one thing. I can plug my battery to my laptop in. Maybe that'll help something. I doubt it. We're froze up, guys. I really appreciate y'all being patient with me and Hellabass tonight. All right. Can you hear me, Hellabass?
maybe not meant to be.
I mean, not me. And now all of a sudden something pops up about WinZip in the middle of my computer. I don't get it. All right. So we've covered the flipping jig or whatnot. So like on my lake, so if I'm fishing a flat, an area like I just described or similar, what I like to look for is while I'm fishing that flat, I'm looking for a stick up, a lay down, a piece of brush. And one thing I tell people in the fall, I don't care if it's the size of a regular twig. I don't care if it's the biggest lay down you've ever seen. Anytime you see something like that, you've got to stop and fish it. And that's when, I don't care if you just throw a spinnerbait bite or soft jerk bait or something, but there's days when you run by that little piece of cover and a little finesse jig or a small flipping jig. That's what they want. You really, the brighter the sky, if it's a sunny day, it's obviously I'm going to dissect that cover really quickly with a soft plastic creature bait, your choice, or I'm going to toss a jig around it. So that's something.
Yeah, I've seen that both early and late in the year on those flats. Like literally any little stick,
Yeah,
any little twig can hold a fish. And some days you got to flip them. Other days a spinnerbait or lipless crankbait or something like that. But like just there's nothing that like no tiny piece of cover should go unturned early and late in the year when they're pushing, shad on those flats.
Right. And I would show you, and that's why I like a swim jig in the fall. And I do want people to know, just because you got a swim jig doesn't mean you have to swim it the whole time. Because, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty basic. I got 2 swim jigs I like. I got one rigged up here and one I don't have rigged up. Don't have to get crazy about it. I like this guy right here quite a bit. This is the Dirty Jig swim jig, and I've got a mini scrub on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the Dirty Jig swim jig when I want just a little bit smaller profile. This is just the regulars, the standard Dirty Jig swim jig. And this is just, I want to imitate a shad, so I can run by a lay down, a little stick up. It's just one little shad out by itself. And sometimes, believe it or not, I'll just stop. I'll swim it right up to the lay down stump and just stop it and let it hit the bottom. And sometimes I guess they see the little tails flickering and they eat it. Other times, I'm reeling this thing in. I'm wanting a visual. I'm doing the Alabama shake and you kill it and they eat it. But that's the smaller profile one. And then, of course, I like the 6 cent swim jig. But my main deal on this is it's more of a bigger profile. Here's your 6 cents, the Divine swim jig. You can tell I've actually tied this one on, and you can tell it's just a little bit bigger. But you can really change your swim jig based on your trailer. So the 6 cents, because it's got that screw lock, I really like to put a swim bait on the back. Kitech, the Divine swimmer, anything I want this bulky. This is my meteor one. Not meteor in the sky, but, beef meteor. And then that one's going to be more my small finesse one. But I also like a trailer that skips really well.
Yeah. And you got
I'm
rigged
doing a lot of skipping, but you never know when you're going down a bank or something, or you want to get underneath some limbs of a little laydown or something like that. That's why I like a flat style trailer.
Yeah. And you got it kind of rigged vertical, which best imitates a shad. But if you're two scenarios, if you're trying to get extra shallow, you can turn it flat, right, like this.
Correct.
And that's going to keep your jig a little higher. And then also, if you're coming through a lot of like grass or stick ups or things like that, having it wide, just that little bit of those little tails will keep, and the flat will keep your swim jig from rolling. So less likely that when you come by something, your hook's going to be off to the side. So you can actually make your swim jig quite a bit more weedless by turning your trailer flat versus vertical on a swim jig.
There you go. You mentioned the spicy beaver. I like it quite a bit. And as far as colors and swim jigs, man, I try to stay with a shad pattern for the most part. But there are times when I'm going to throw something, even in the fall, because we still have a lot of bluegill. Right now, the bluegill are really suspended around the boat docks. And so there's a dirty jigs, I believe that color is warmouth, with a spicy beaver on the back. Now, I've got it turned to where I can just kind of swim it fast. But I have turned this thing on the other side. I forgot what color that is. I want to say that's Coosa Special. No, not Coosa Special. I forgot. It's really good. And then, a bluegill pattern. This is one of my favorite ones. This is kind of a magic crawl deal from 6 Cents. And then I've got, a magic crawl divine on there. Very natural color. Something I talked about with Bo last night. Even in the clear water, the bait fish or bluegill or whatnot, you can see the bass, their darks are really back, or in overcast conditions. Everything's dark looking. So even when that sun's not out real bright, sometimes those dark colors put more of a shadow out there. And but I keep it really simple. Really a shad imitator or bluegill imitator as far as, a swim jig or even my regular jigs. If I flip, it's just like a black and blue this time of year, or green pumpkin.
Yeah, and every once in a while, like if we get really dirty water on the river or something, I'll mix in a black blue or black purple, but that's really water specific.
So yeah, and I really feel that we just did the opposite, but you can fish a jig very effectively and fast, and it doesn't have to be a swim jig. But all right, but the deal is locating and show this area. This is one of my favorite areas on the lake. All right, Hellabass is still there.
I think I am.
All right, you disappeared. I'm going to navigate to another part of Kentucky Lake, and this is going to be a big area. We're not going to mess with Lake Barkley because it sucks, and there's no reason to really go over there. But this is a really popular bay on Kentucky Lake, one of my favorites. This is Smith Bay, and all this stuff up front I'm pretty much not going to mess with right now. Now this is a main lake. It's actually a point that comes off, and there's actually a couple bars out here, but I'm going to go toward the back of Smith Bay. This is one of my favorite areas on Kentucky Lake. This is a huge bay. Now you can't fish back here after November 1st, but from this area. But if you see, we go far back in this bay, we got one row bed, we got two row beds, we got lots of little pockets here. There's no flooded timber in there, trust me. I don't know why that's on the map. But you got a natural creek that runs back in there. Navionics cuts it off. This is a great area. Once those fish really start that migration, they got plenty of little spots to push these shad. They can push them up in these pockets, these small pockets here. We've got these larger pockets. You got this one right here by the campground. It's got a road bed, a shallow road bed in the back. You've got a point here where a road bed intersects. That's what I'm looking for in the fall. I'm looking for places where many highways come together, and then I've got this main flat back here. So I've got a stopping point, and they'll hang out here, then they'll move back. They can come feed, and they easily come back to this deep water. But areas I like to focus on is like right here. You got 10, 11 foot, and all of a sudden you got 7, 5 foot of water. That's a great transition area. And Hellabass is gone again. That's a great transition area. In places like this, I'm going to cover with a lipless bait quite a bit. This is a lipless bait area to me. Hellabass back. He stopped. What's going on? We've lost Rich yet again. So y'all lost me too? Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry, Matthew. I don't know what's going on here. Don't know what's going on. You can't see anything. What the f... Pardon my French. Hold on, let me see if I can fix this thing up. Audio's okay, video just came back. Well, I was talking about, yeah, Hellabass is out. I do not know what's going on. Alright, I hear Hellabass's audio, but I don't see him. Dang, my computer's even locked up. Yes, Kyle, that is a waterfowl refuge back there. Yeah, I got... The problem is I can't run a hardwired connection to my bait room. You know, I would have to have like an 80-foot cat cable. But I imagine I could figure out how to redo that. Yeah, maybe it's the Navionics site, so... Man, I got 100-something people in here tonight. I hate to cancel a stream if the internet's that bad. And maybe I should just go tomorrow night. Damn. Bait Jr. could be pushing buttons. I imagine what it is. He's on Roblox. But my laptop says I've got a 5-bar signal. I don't know what's going on. Let me text Rich and see if he's out. I don't know if I can carry this myself. Alright, hold on. Now you hear me. Alright. Yeah, well, I'm just using the browser for Navionics. I guess I just need screen. I'll just have to take screenshots. All I can see is the map. The map's over. It's turned off. Y'all must be way behind me. Alright, I'm going to let the chat catch up, I guess. Yeah, Rich says go solo. Okay. We can see you, but I'm frozen. Okay, hold on just a second. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Let me remove some stuff here. Navionics and Skype too much together. That could be. Yeah, I'm off the map site right now. Just a second. I'm trying to get my stuff all fixed back up here to go on solo. Alright, can you guys see me now? Oh man, I'm off center. I've went full screen up on y'all. Went full screen. Can you guys see me? Full unibrow and everything. Give me a thumbs up. I've been struggling with this thing for 45 minutes. I'm almost to say this is a wash. And maybe I'll go back. This is what happens when I try to do cool things like stream 3 nights in a row or something like that. It just goes out. Alright, I'm back now. I'll tell you what I'm going to do tomorrow night. I will be setting up StreamYard for Mr. Debo to come do some unboxing with me. So let me just go through my basic baits for the fall. I won't go through the map or anything like that. Just being totally honest with you guys, my favorite bait to throw in the fall is a spinnerbait. And I'll show you my favorite one. Or one of my favorite ones. One way I like to fish a spinnerbait is really fast. Almost burning it. And to me, there's not much better option out there than this guy right here. This is the Spot Sticker Mini-Me. And I think this is like purple shad. You don't have to have purple in your spinnerbait. But it's just a shad imitator. And I can fish the Mini-Me really fast. And it's got a smaller profile than, say, this guy right here. Which I have trimmed the skirt on this. This is the Shad Head Spot Sticker. And then I have the Mini-Me over in my right hand. Now, I trimmed the skirt on this to get the bulk down. But you can see the style of the arms are totally different. This Mini-Me has the weight right here on the shank of the shaft. And I actually do not throw a trailer on the Mini-Me. It's not designed really to throw a trailer on it. But this one's actually a 3/4 ounce. And the reason I like a heavier bait is I can fish it really fast and it keeps it nice and stable. And if I want to slow it down just a tick and keep it 2 or 3 foot under the surface, I can still fish it fast and it will stay down. So 1/2 ounce, 3/4 Mini-Me, that's one of my go-tos in the fall. I want something that's small, can imitate a bait fish. I want something that's a whitish blue, a blue gizzard, a green gizzard, a purple shad. I'm not going to get anything too crazy. People are going to say, well, what about this guy right here? You know, this is Baitman Special with white blades. I will throw that, but that's going to have to be on a really overcast, a rainy day, or the water is really an off color. But for the most part, I'm going to keep it really simple. It's right there. And then my other spinnerbait I like quite a bit. If I can find it back here. Believe it or not, this is a really good fall spinnerbait. This is a double gold War Eagle. I think it's Golden Shiner or something like that. Again, an overcast day. You got these double gold blades right here. Puts out a lot of flash. We don't have golden shiners in Kentucky Lake, but something about this guy right here has caught me a lot of fish. Now on the War Eagle, it does have that longish skirt. I won't put a trailer, but I will put me a small trailer hook on here because, to be honest, that's a pretty small hook. The only bad problem about a War Eagle, if you get into the smallmouth, you're going to go through spinnerbaits really quick because they have this really ultra thin wire and they break. And I've heard since they're made in Mexico now or Guatemala, they don't last as long. So, and then Screaming Eagle's really good too, and the Strike King Baby Burner. So I'm not going to get crazy amount, but now that I've kind of gotten into these JDM style spinnerbaits, you know, the Megabass SV3 is one I really want to throw this fall. Again, smaller blades, spin faster. Really like that. And of course, there's the bluegill color. But dude, that color, that Hasu color right there, that's a really good one. Haven't got to fish it yet. And then accent makes a great spinnerbait. I love an accent spinnerbait. See if I can find one back here. Of course, I can't reach it. Find my accent. I can see it. I just can't get my hand around it. God dang. I've got too many spinnerbaits, boys. Too many spinnerbaits. That's not what I wanted. Too many spinnerbaits. Okay, every time I go to grab the one I want, I get something else. There's an accent spinnerbait, except I put a Kotek on the back of that. That's kind of my deep deal, but you can do stuff like that. But the reason I like the accent, and I wish I had one in the package. I thought I had one out here. I don't. I like these blades on the accent. I don't know if you guys see this. Don't worry about the skirt and all that. You see these fluted blades? Man, these create a lot of flash and move the water really, really well. And if you've never thrown accents, I'm telling you, they're freaking amazing. But so spinnerbait's going to be my #1 deal. Again, I like a smaller profile spinnerbait versus those big bulky ones. Now, there's a time and place to throw a big like #8 willow on there. So. I'm trying to read questions. Yeah, so I've never thrown a Bassman spinnerbait. I've heard a lot about those. They're definitely different. My internet's going out bad. I don't know what's happening. I feel lost without Hellabass. I feel like I'm just trying to wing it, to be honest with you. And then lipless crankbaits in the fall. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just like, I don't have no energy. Like, the whole internet deal has like, I'm gonna unplug my headphones. There's no need to have headphones. I don't have anybody to listen to. Maybe that's what's making me feel like it's time to get rid of the stream. I've been on here for an hour, and so many things went wrong that I'm just really frustrated right now. Like, I'm willing to throw in the towel. So you know what? We should do it again tomorrow night. But I don't want to disappoint nobody. I'm having a Jeffries. Anyway, let's talk about. I don't even have my stuff prepared. Let's talk about these guys right here. This is something a lot of people pass up in the fall. Absolutely, there's never a bad time to throw a spinnerbait. The fall is the best time for numbers. Now, I will say in spring, you catch bigger fish more consistent on a spinnerbait. The fall is kind of a numbers deal, and you'll run into some big fish. But fishing's traditionally not easy here from September to October. Once you get into that November month, it seems the pressure's off. Everyone's deer hunting. Fishing's just a little bit better. So I want to talk about something a lot of guys don't talk about in the fall, and it's still basic, and it's a wake bait. A wake bait is awesome in the fall. One, you can fish a wake bait super, super shallow. And got a couple I really, really, really like. I'll show you my favorite examples here of a wake bait. And they all have totally different action. Get this out right here. Alright. So first off, this is one of my old school favorites. This is the Lucky Craft GDS Mini SSR. So this is a really small crankbait, really tiny, like a baby 1 minus. but I really like this guy. One reason is this right here. It is really loud, a lot of rattle, but this thing only dives maybe a foot. And I like to fish this with, 14, 15 pound monofilament to keep it up in the water. You can use fluorocarbon. It won't hurt the action too bad. You will get a little bit more diving depth on this, but that skinny water, I want to imitate a really small minnow running across the surface. I really like this bait. They got really, really hard to find. I lost my last one, and I was able to get some more from a subscriber on the channel. And yeah, this guy right here, super loud. Really like it. Yeah, dude. I just had an internal meltdown there for a minute. I'm good to go now. So, really like this bait. Hard to find, but what a wake bait does is it makes just enough of a... Yeah, dude. With all disrespect to Mark, or all respect to Mark, he's a great dude. That's, I know how it is to lose a hard drive, you name it. So, Gary, you're right. Talk buzz baits and I'll feel better. So, I'm good now. So, but you're kind of imitating a little minnow running across the surface. It's really subtle. It's not as intrusive as, say, a big walking bait or a buzz bait or something like that. And anyway, that's why I like a wake bait. But I like it in slick, calm conditions. Seems to work the best for me. And you can also... I'll be honest, I like it in overcast, but those bright sunny days, a little wake bait like this can get you some really good bites. This is the new one from Strike King, come out last year, maybe year before last. That's the KVD 2.5 wake. It's a really pretty good bait. One thing that's cool about this bait is you can stop it and twitch it, and it'll like pop on the surface and go back and forth. Pretty cool. Got sharp hooks, but you got that knocker right there. This one's kind of a more translucent color when the water's pretty clear. That's a Pro Blue, and yes, I put some Sharpie dots on that to give it a little kill spot. But you got a lot bigger profile in this compared to the Lucky Craft. Great bait right here. I'll try to link that down. And then this is the biggest wake bait, or bigger wake bait. That's the 6 cent speed wake. That's a bone reactor. Again, going to be simple. Basics for the fall. Chromes, blues, natural looking color, or go bone, or go home. But you can hear the speed wake has an internal rattle. That's a speed rattle. And it's jointed, so it's got a lot of kick. This creates more wake than either of those other two baits. This is kind of a big fish hunting bait right here. I'm going to hunt a big fish with that. And I like to fish this over a little bit deeper water than I would fish, say, this guy or this guy. These are going to be my, 3 foot or less. I'm throwing these. If I'm going to fish over some deeper points, my buddy fishes at Table Rock and stuff in the fall, and he throws a wake shad or a speed wake, and he's fishing over 30 foot, 40 foot of water, and he said that bigger profile gets a lot better bite over deep water. So, Clay, yeah, I do throw a scrounger up shallow. It's not like a go-to bait or anything. And to be honest, a scrounger is not a go-to bait for me anytime other than out deep. But I have actually thrown a scrounger up shallow and had quite a bit of success. But I feel I catch a lot of dinks on a scrounger up shallow. And I use like a 1/4 ounce, 3/8 head. So I actually have a box here I've kind of dedicated to my wake baits. And I actually have ploppers in here too, because I couldn't really fit any more topwaters in my box. So I said, I'll put them on my wake baits. But again, bone, white, chrome, that's your basic stuff. Of course, you get a bright day or overcast day, you're fishing for some smallmouth. Maybe you want to go something. I don't think they even sell this. A bright orange wake. Yeah. I'll tell you a color that's really good. Really good. Is this new color from Strike King. This is Tennessee Shad 2.0. Y'all see that? Dude, this in the 1.5 regular is killer. Again, this is in the wake bait. But one thing I like too is that flash, especially once I talk about square bills. I'm going to show y'all what I mean by flash. But that's a great color from Strike King. But this is my little wake box. I've got more of these. This is a really good little wake bait. This is the Mega Bass Over Rev. You talk about, it's kind of like a flat-sided wake bait. And man, this thing is really, really cool. Casts pretty good too. Yep, Bomber Long A, that's a good wake bait. But I got on a wake bait tangent. I could do a whole show on just wake baits, to be honest with y'all. And that's one of those things you really need to get some video of to show you guys. So we'll get this box right here. It's fall. If you're going to crank, there's two ways I'm going to crank in the fall. That's going to be, or you want to look for as far as crankbaits in the fall. I'm just going to go over the basics really quick. We've already been on an hour and half the stream's been jacked up. But fall is for flat sides, okay? Flat side crankbaits, a lot tighter wiggle. Usually have a smaller profile. Gary, yes, I have. I get lazy sometimes and I just pick them up and throw them. But if I get on kind of a wake bait bite in the past and I'm having some fish miss, I will, next time I come out and fish, I will put a feathered treble on. And sometimes that gets a few more to commit. I think Ben Milliken made a video. It was him going fishing at Fork. I watched it this morning where he actually carries Flashaboo in his spoon box, and then he can make a Flashaboo trailer hook right then and there. It's pretty cool. It's very simple. He used a jig collar, just ran the Flashaboo through the treble and then pushed the jig collar over it, and boom. It's quick and simple. But fall time of the year, I'm going to go, I've got a couple baits I really like that you can buy, because unfortunately a lot of my flat sides you can't buy. Cannot buy. Well, you can on the underground market. So right now, one of the more popular baits is the Rapala OG Slim. So Slim's a really good bait. This one's green gizzard. Of course, it doesn't look that green in this photo. I'll tell you what I did. Here's a cool trick in my flat side box to get more of them. You see how I've got those hooks like that? My wife went to the beauty supply store and got these little bitty rubber bands. You can get like 1,000 of them for $3. And so I just band those hooks together, and I can get a ton of baits in this Bass Mafia box. And this is the one I really like. This is Big Shad, man. Big Shad is really, really sexy. Again, I'm trying to imitate a bait fish this time of year. Now, the OG Slim is actually a little bit bigger profile. It dives about 6 foot. So, this type of flat side, I'm going to fish a little bit deeper water, and I'm going to fish it pretty dang shad. So, seen Wheeler making a jabberjaw wake bait and catch them. That's crazy. I refuse to buy that bait. Those guys, I'm not a big fan of 13 fishing anything, because whoever runs their social media is a moron, and I guess they think it's cool to take jabs at unprovoked jabs at companies and stuff. So, Chris, what rod do I throw a wake bait on? Dude, you can throw it on whatever you like to throw a square bill on. You can throw it on your topwater rod. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to have a specialized rod for a wake bait. I mean, it's a treble hook bait for the most part. You can throw it on a cranking rod. Just change the line out. Kyle, no, I don't have any of the new Cliff Pace bacon. I've bought less tackle this year than I ever have. one, I've been busy, and two, I'm like, man, I need to slow down. But that's one on the list. Black Friday is going to get crazy here, so I do throw the Mikey every now and then. That I really consider a Mikey. It is a wake bait, but that's more of a swim bait to me. It's kind of in that swim bait category. So right now, as far as flat sides, the Rapala OG Slim is a good one. One of my favorites. And I'm going to tease y'all. Y'all ain't going to like this. Right here, Bomber Flat A. Any shad colors in the Flat A, they still make it like a Tennessee shad, and they make a clear black back, which is really good. This is a Build Ants color that's always good to me in the fall. It's kind of like a translucent lavender shad, man, and man, this thing catches. So the Flat A, the OG Slim, those are kind of going to be my deeper flat side fish. I'm going to fish on a lot of secondary points on the deep side of a flat, or maybe parallel some riprap. As far as cranking flat sides, love the Flat A in the fall. Really good bait. And if you find any of the, if I got one, this one right here. If you guys go flea market hunting, this guy right here, Ozark Shad, the Bomber Flat A. Yeah, you better snatch these up. Especially if you're on a lake that's got a lot of threadfin shad. For some reason, they love this color. But Flat A is definitely one of the flattest flat sides out there. And it has a little rattle to it. Really, really like this. Flat A is good. Oh, by the way, we did have somebody in the community. I'll be damned. Zapbird's Fishing. Follow me on TikTok. Alright. ZB, I'll follow you back. One of the great boss of builders, Wes England, passed away this week. So if you don't know Wes, his creation, which is the Wee Bait, one of the amazing full handmade baits out there. Wes passed away, so thoughts and prayers with his family. Just unfortunately, bait builders are normal people too. They're not here forever. So if you got a chance to get any wee baits, probably want to hold on to them. If you've never got any, this is a good time to try to find some. But these little wee baits, I feel really, really good when it's bright bluebird. Is what I'm. They look awesome in the water, but it's kind of a deal where guys throw that bait and they don't talk about it. But let's go for some more flat sides real quick. Show you. If you like the 6 cents flat 75 in the spring, you'll like it in the fall. It's just a good bait. Man, I've got too many baits in this box. But yeah, so I took those hooks, and if you see this box, this Mafia box, it's just freaking loaded. Let's see if I can find the other box over here. God dang. You know what? We all know what the flat 75 is from 6 cents. I've got some other stuff, but we'll just have a flat side stream. If you guys think we should do just a flat side crankbait stream one night, maybe I'll get Eric on here. How about we do that? Holy smokes, Alan. Yeah, dude. Everything's gone up. Everything's got up. So, I'll briefly touch on square bills real quick. This is one of my favorites in the fall, and I'm glad I bought these. So, this is the Jackal Aska. Yeah? Ask your old mama, and she'll tell you. But this is just a little kind of ghost minnow color. And why square bill works really good in the fall. This one's one of my favorites. It's got that micarta circuit board lip. But the reason square bill works really good in the fall, one, this size right here, this is that 1.5. It's basically a 2.5 inch bait. Runs about 4 foot. So this Aska, a KVD 1.5, the 6 cents 50X, the RC 1.5. The square bill is your 4-wheel drive of crankbaits. you can go through anything with this. You will still get hung up a bit, but it deflects so good off little stomps, little rocks. You can run it down a lay down. You can run it through brush. It just comes over stuff. Now, versus the spring where I'm cranking a square bill down, shallow points, gravel bars, stuff like that, or riprap, and I'm trying to get a lot of depth out of this, where I'm using like 10-pound fluorocarbon or 12, I'm going to crank with 15 to 17-pound fluorocarbon in the fall, because I'm traditionally fishing even more shallower than the spring. Our water's drawn down. I'm going over more stumps, more laydowns. And when you get a bite, a lot of times you're going to have to get those bass away from cover. I want something more diameter in there that I can move fish away from, and more abrasion resistance. So I'm going to go like I do crank with Seaguar or Brazex every now and then, or I'm going to go with, high pound Sunline Assassin. Sunline Assassin's kind of like my go-to. I do a little bit of everything with it. I do prefer like Sniper for bottom contact. I've never really had an issue with bottom contact with Assassin. I've heard people say it's not sensitive, it's not good for it, but I don't have too much of an issue. But I want just a little bit more line diameter. That's why I like the Assassin for cranking in the fall, or Seaguar or Brazex. So, again, shad patterns on your square bills. I don't care if it's a sexy shad, a Tennessee shad, or anything 6 Sense does. If it says shad in it, gizzard shad, threadfin shad, it's really good. And don't sleep on these guys right here. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you have some crankbaits in the fall too. This is that 6 Sense mini 25x deep or something. Dude, this is one of the best threadfin shad patterns I've got. These little guys right here get bit really good. Little Bandit 200, stuff like that. You got a lot of little bitty bait that hangs out on ripraps or buckheads or places outside marinas, close to dam areas. And these little bitty crankbaits get bit. Norman middle end. We're just putting basics on here. So we've got spinner baits, flat side crankbaits. If I can get to my square bill box, it's way over here, and I'm going to get freaking smoked. So I need to prepare better. Now, obviously, we talked about it. Top water. I got two ways I'm going in the fall. I'm going with a walking bait. This is, you guys, here you go. Let's drive some eBay sales up. If you can find these, Jackal bow stick. Oh, yeah. One thing I like about a top water, I got to have me 3 hooks. And this guy is one of the loudest walking baits you will find. We'll see if the bow stick comes back. But, dude, this guy has won 2 boats on Kentucky Lake in the last 5 years. That's a fact, Jack. And I love, to be honest, I love Jackal's Sexy Shad. It's like the old school Strike King one. But the bow stick's really good. You see, it's got that hole. Water comes through, and as the water goes through that hole, it splashes side to side. But a Jackal bow stick, Heading Super Spook, saltwater bone Super Spook, probably one of the best all-time fall top waters. And then you got, the 6 Sense catwalk and all that. Again, walking baits is a totally different stream, but just trying to help you guys out. I've already been on for an hour or something, so I'm just trying to wrap this up. I promise tomorrow night with Debo is going to be really, really smooth. So, and then we talk about it all the time. I posted on Instagram the buzz bait. Showed y'all last night. Buzz bait in the fall. It's so hard to beat. I can get on buzz baits. We'll be on buzz baits for 2 hours. And then your lipless crankbaits. Again, my lipless box is way up here, and I'm knocking stuff over just to get into my lipless crankbaits. But man, guys, I'm sorry about tonight. I'm not in peak performance, and man, I really wanted to stream with Hellabass. Unfortunately, we don't control the internet. So, glide baits. If we're talking basic baits, really, Matthew. Glide's really not a basic bait. You do have to have a little bit of angling experience, I feel, to throw a glide bait successfully in the fall. But we'll definitely do a stream over swim baiting and gliding and sharding in your pants in the fall. Just not my night, guys. Just not my night. Yeah, dude, 6 cents paint schemes are good. I really feel like, you know, Lucky Craft was so good with their paint stuff years ago, and then they kind of opened the door for 6 cents. Like, it got hard to get Lucky Craft stuff, or people got tired of paying $20 for square bill crankbaits, and then Casey just like opened that market up. He was able to get you the same style bait for $7 and even better paint jobs. So, yeah. Dude, you got to get that Rip Shad. I wonder if they've been poached on eBay yet. So, the BPS Walking Dog. I just got the Spro Fat Papa Walker in. That's a really cool bait. Here's the deal on that. It's not as big as I thought it was. Love a Super Spook Junior in bone. I've got one up here somewhere. We're going to do a whole show. Here's what I got planned. All right, guys? You know, this stream has been crazy. I just want to talk to y'all. Just throw questions out there, whatever. I'm going to retitle the stream, too. Like, the most random, everything went wrong. I tried to talk fall fishing. St. Chris, let me know when you want some. I'll be at the East Tennessee Fishing Show in January this year. He probably puts out 5,000 baits at that show. Let me know, and I'll get you some jaw jackers. Rick, it's right here up above me. The Amazon is up there. Love that Amazon, man. So that's another thing. I love big ass walking baits in the fall. Like, me in the fall, I want to go big or I want to go finesse small. I'm not sure I like the Shower Blow 77.7. I seem to have trouble getting it to be consistent on a walk. I've thrown it a couple times. I threw on Baitman Jr.'s rod. It was too stiff. Rod was too stiff. Couldn't do nothing with it. And I threw it the other day. It wasn't bad, but I feel if you're going to go in that size, I think the Super Spook Jr. or like a Barely Legal Vixen, which is, it's still smaller than a Barely Legal Vixen, but Super Spook Jr. and I got the Head and Boyo. We're going to look at that tomorrow night. I feel that's really the better play on that. Really feel that's a better play. Or even the Sammy 65. If you guys remember the Sammy 65. But anyway, so we're going to, if I start early in the fall, which it is, we got to talk walking baits. Walking baits for the fall. I'm not going to worry about anything. These buzz baits, square bills, lipless, and a flat side show. That's my 5 I want to get done. So that gives us plenty of time. We'll get through October, get you through the rest of September, and probably October. That's kind of what our stream schedule is going to be. And we'll try to, if Eric can come on here, great. If not, it'll be just me and maybe somebody else. Who knows? But I'm going to try to do a Friday night stream and a Saturday night stream because I'm fixing to be really busy editing TV shows. And I really won't get to edit stuff for myself. So that's fine, Hellabass. We will get Hellabass back in on a topwater show. maybe I can sneak Brent Anderson to come stream with us. Yes, St. Chris, if you let me know, I'll spot you and you just pay me back. Now, don't be ordering no $10,000 worth of baits. I ain't got that kind of money, but you need a couple $100 worth. I'll spot you and you pay me back. I'll take care of you. If you'll let me pick out a few colors for you. You got to get the root beer jawjacker. Try the Rapala Shadow Wrap 11 slow sinking jerkbait and gone color. Huh. I do like the Shadow Wrap. That's a really good jerkbait a lot of people don't talk about. And we'll have a couple streams with some fun topics and stuff like that, but that's probably what we're looking for on the next 5. I'm going to maybe do some random Tackle Warehouse unboxings. Again, I've only ordered probably $200 of baits this year, so I've been a good boy. But I'm just going to be honest, guys. I'm going to jump off here. I'm going to end the stream. I may make a thumbnail. I may not. But you guys be ready to go. Same time tomorrow night. Debo's Fishing. We're going to do some Tackle Warehouse unboxing. We're going to get to look at some stuff. Everything I got, I don't have. So you're going to get my honest opinion, good or bad, on some of the stuff. So, anyway. I would agree, Nathan. I love the 105 and 125. The 77, it ain't it so far. Maybe it's so small I need an even lighter action rod. I need it instead of like a medium heavy. I need to go to like a medium light and maybe shorter to really, really get the right action on there. So, Shady Banks, I've seen a ton of grass carp. I've shot several of them when bow fishing, and we've always had that. So, dude, Tackle Shop has Sammy 100s for $5. Now, are they the new USA series? Because, man, I got a local tackle shop that's got some, and the plastic's terrible. I mean, they look like the Ducket baits. They're that bad. So, Sean, I work my popper. I'll be honest. I start 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. Or I like to do 1, 2, stop. 1, 2, 3, stop. But once